Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Day in History, our nightly look back at a specific day in history, where we take a look back at the events of a day, the historic context in which those events took place, and the historic ramifications of those events. As always, if you have not yet, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell notification icon to be alerted anytime I post new content, and tell a friend. And without any further ado, this day in history, September 17th. And on this day, in 1787, the delegates to the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia signed the Constitution of the United States. It replaced the Articles of Confederacy, which had governed the young nation up to that point. It was not a perfect document when it was signed. It still has flaws. At the time, the president and vice president were not elected together. The vice president was whoever came in second in the Electoral College. Slavery was allowed in the Constitution. That would take until the 13th Amendment in 1865. Slaves were not considered to be citizens. They were 3/5 of a person. It would take the 14th Amendment to grant birthright citizenship. The 15th Amendment gave African American men the right to vote. Now, we know that in the South and in other parts of America, barriers to that right would be made by loose interpretation of laws. Women would not gain the right to vote until the 19th Amendment in 1920. But it is a document in which America tries to live up to its founding ideals. Ideals that we have never fully realized but try like hell to do. We have amended the document 27 times. Only one of those was to override another part of the document, and that was prohibition. Mostly the document deals with government and government operations, such as when the term of Congress begins and ends, inauguration day of the president, how the president and vice president are elected, the composition of the three branches of government. Article 1, the legislative branch. Article 2, the executive. And Article 3, the judicial. And how all of them are interconnected in some way. The judicial is connected to the executive branch because federal judges are appointed by the president, who is Article 2. And they are approved by Article 1 through advise and consent by the United States Senate. The 17th Amendment to the Constitution allowed for direct popular election of United States senators. Other amendments have granted the D.C. 3 electoral votes. Prior to that, the citizens of the nation's capital did not have a say in the presidential election. They still don't have representation in the House or Senate. Taxation without representation to our nation's capital. But, for all its faults, as I have said, this document is a basic protection against tyranny. And folks, sadly, we are seeing some in the highest positions of government attack these basic rights. This election coming up is very important because it is a clear choice, in my opinion, between a candidate who respects the Constitution in Joe Biden and a candidate who doesn't, Donald Trump. Donald Trump has attacked the basic tenets of the Constitution. He tried to say that he's above the law. The Constitution clearly begs to differ. And he believes that he is all powerful. He is not. This right here, for all its faults and for the imperfection of the men who wrote it, and it was all men who wrote the document. The original document. Is still our best hope for a more perfect country. It protects your rights and is a bulwark against fascism and tyranny. And if Donald Trump gets reelected, it's going to be put to its ultimate stress test. I know I said I would do a Senate video tonight, and I will later, after the town hall that Joe Biden has here in a little bit, the CNN drive-up town hall. So I will see y'all all after that. I'll probably post my reaction to that as well. But we will see you around the corner.